Hey guys, welcome back to PristineZReads. Today I'm going to be reviewing book number 10 of the Hagenheim series, The Piper's Pursuit by Melanie Dickerson. Alright, well, let's get started. This is the super spoiler review. If you would like no spoilers, please check out my no spoiler video. Alright, let's get to it. First up is for my summary. The Piper's Pursuit is a retelling of The Pied Piper. Normally I don't think of it as like a fairy tale that could be turned into a romance, which is what this series is supposed to be, but it did anyways, and Dickerson did a great job with it. It's fantastic, seriously. Alright, so the story opens up with introducing us to Katerina Ludkin, and Katerina is brave yet oddly hostile. Katerina is the stepdaughter of Henrik Grimmelin, the burgomeister of Hamelin. She is suspicious of her father's ethics and money management and thinks that he might be corrupting the town, taking bribes, stuff like that. But she is forced to remain quiet as Henrik sometimes abuses her and her mother. And if Henrik ever found out she was suspicious of him, then he would beat her. But she faces threats on all sides, with the plague of rats infesting the city, and all their children are supposedly gone missing, rumored to be taken and eaten by this unnaturally large wolf, the Beast of Hamelin, they have nicknamed him. Few people have actually seen the beast, or supposedly have seen the beast. Those who supposedly have seen it got attacked by it, and they died a few weeks later, a few days later, because their wounds got infected and turned putrid. So they really don't know that much about this beast. Just that he is dangerous, and all these parents are now living in fear because of this beast, and they're afraid that the remaining children will get taken as well. Then one day, the handsome but brash Duke of Hagenheim's son, Stefan Gerstenberg, comes riding into town like he hasn't got a care in the world. Stefan is taken with Katerina at first sight. Katerina is hostile and unfriendly towards him, believing that he will never gain her trust. Stefan, however, is determined to gain her trust, but he is also seeking for glory, money, and is a bit on the arrogant side. Katerina has no desire to get close to an arrogant person, especially one who is rumored to be a drunkard and a troublemaker. So Stefan hears that Henrik is offering 10,000 silver guilders and Katerina's hand in marriage to the person who either does one of two things. Number one, kills or captures the beast, and number two, rids the town of its plague of rats. Stefan is definitely intrigued and determined to do one or both of the two things. However, when he visits the Grimmelin home, he is slightly uneasy about how Henrik is treating Katerina and her mother, and even Stefan. Henrik acts weird, laughs a bit too loudly, talks a bit too much, and a little too friendly. So Stefan is a bit suspicious. When he and Katerina try one day to, well actually Katerina is trying, Stefan follows her much to her annoyance. They try to go and capture, maybe even kill, the Beast of Hamelin. However, when they get there, the Beast of Hamelin does find them and tries to attack Katerina. But Stefan throws himself in front of her and saves her life. Katerina does not want to admit it, as she does not want to be beholden to Stefan, but it is true, and he did save her life. Katerina is starting to become forced to trust Stefan, as there's only one other person in the town she can trust, and is her childhood friend Hans, whom she has grown up with all her life. But she is forced to journey with Stefan, maybe even share with him a few things about their town, as he is the only other person who suspects Henrik of being corrupt. So one day Katerina is snooping in Henrik's office and discovers this map, or at least she thinks it's a map. So she and Stefan compare it to the town of Hamelin, and one night they slip out to a place on the map. This place they find is actually a secret silver mine, which they do not discover until they climb down a hole into the underground. and they are shocked underneath what they see. All these children that they have thought missing over the years are working in this mine as slaves. And it appears that Hennick is the mastermind behind all of this, capturing these children by luring them with his pipe playing, hence the Pied Piper, and has made these children be forced to mine the silver all day long, with no escape whatsoever. Katerina and Stefan escape alive, but shocked at what they've seen. When they get home, however, Hennick is looking for his map, and immediately suspects Katerina of doing it, which she did. Katerina, however, has hid the map in the forest, and Hennick is pretty much sure never to find it. So Hennick orders his guards to take Stefan and Katerina to the mine and allow them to be killed by the Beast of Hamelin, because, surprise, turns out he controls this beast as well. And the beast is actually two beasts, because Hennick captured these two wolves when they were cubs and kept them. He trained them to hate humans by making sure they whipped the wolves every day and fed them lots of meat to make them grow unnaturally large. And then they started starving them so that the wolves would become hungry and have no chance but to kill the humans. So Hennick has been keeping these beasts as sort of the guards of his mine. And whenever his guards see people coming near the mine, then they let out the wolves to attack them. Hennick orders his guards to take Stefan and Katerina to the mine to be killed by the beasts. However, Stefan and Katerina have already killed one of the beasts from the last time Stefan saved her. But this time, Stefan steals a sword from one of the guards and defeats the beast anyway. The guards are not really sure what to do, so they throw Stefan and Katerina into the mine and make them work along with the children. Stefan and Katerina bide their time, and when the time is exactly right, they take the children and kill the guards and make a run for it out of the mine. Stefan says they must make their way to Hagenheim, where he can get his father to help them and overthrow Hennick as the mayor of Hamelin. But they have like 100-something children walking along with them, and it is a long way to Hagenheim. And you know, the children are getting tired, they complain of being hungry, thirsty, their feet are hurting, stuff like that, stuff like any child would do. So Stefan decides to take them all to Kieterhaven, which is a town near Hagenheim. So he takes them there and finds people to take care of the children, and he and Katerina instantly journey to Hohendorf Castle. Stefan hopes to seek the aid of his brother, Lord Gabe, and his wife, Lady Sophie, from the Fairest Beauty. But they are not there, having gone to visit his recently married brother, Wolfgang, and his wife, Milan, from the Warrior Maiden. So Stefan is disappointed, and they set out for Hagenheim. When they reach there, Stefan has a happy reunion with his family, apologizing for the times where he ran away. You'd have to see my Warrior Maiden review for that, or have read it yourself. Katerina, too, is starting to trust Stefan more and more as she sees his more noble deeds and the things he's done for these children and the way he's reunited with his parents. So now the Duke is outraged, of course, at hearing the disturbances at Hamelin, and they immediately set out. And they overthrow Hennick. They don't kill him, however. They decide to lock him up in a jail cell. The Duke has intended to appoint Stefan as the new Burgomeister of Hamelin, but Stefan refuses and says that Katerina deserves the right to become the mayor of Hamelin. So the Duke declares her the mayor of Hamelin, much to Katerina's surprise, and she instantly makes drastic changes to the way the town is run, and everything, and the townspeople are so grateful to her, and they get all their children back. But then the Duke and Stefan and most of their men have to leave Hamelin and go back to Hagenheim, as the Duke says Stefan should spend time with his family, as he hasn't seen them in over a year. So they go, Stefan promising to Katerina that he will be back within a week or 3 weeks. And Katerina looks forward to his return, although she is scared at what all her feelings mean, as she never wants to trust a man again after what Hennick did to her. But then Hennick escapes and tries to force Katerina to give him back all his silver that they stole from his mine. However, Stefan arrives just in the nick of time and saves Katerina, and it turns out that her lifelong childhood friend Hans had betrayed her after all and let Henrik out. But everything is alright in the end, and Katerina is so glad that Stefan has come back to Hamlin like he promised. And then Stefan figures out a way to get rid of the rats. He had heard some people say that whenever Henrik had played his pipe, that some rats had always come to investigate the noise. So Stefan took his pipe, went all around the town playing it, and all the rats started following him. Then Stefan went down into the silver mine, all the rats followed him, and yeah, that was the end of the rat plague. So Stefan asks for a reward from the Burgomeister, the new Burgomeister, Katerina, and Katerina decides to leave it to the people to decide. Stefan asks the people for his reward to be Katerina's hand in marriage. Katerina accepts, the people do too, they get married. The end. Alright, so now for the morals of this book. First up is Christian beliefs / other worldviews. This one didn't have like as strong of a Catholic influence as some of the other ones did, so I'm thankful for that. I also liked some of the themes of, going to the cross to lay your burden down, as that happened when Stefan and Katerina were on their long, harrowing journey trying to find help, but they always comforted each other and saying that they always needed to go to God first to lay down their burdens because they couldn't do it on their own. Love that. Strong faith represented here. Yeah, next up is violence. There were some fights, nothing too descriptive or bloody. Henrik abused Katerina and her mother. There are mentions of him striking them, slapping them, and he tried to molest Katerina when she was little. But he failed, and then she was suspicious and scared of him, and that's why she never trusted men. Didn't want to trust Stefan. Afraid he would take advantage of her, but he didn't. Anyways, yeah. Next up is romance. This is neither low nor high in that level, respectively. I think it's medium. Again, all clean, nothing inappropriate. There was a mention of the guard looking lecherously at Katerina, but she slapped him, and he didn't try anything. Alright, next up is alcohol. As anyone who has read The Warrior Maiden might know, Stefan used to drink a bit, but he swore never to do it again. However, Henrik tried to tempt Stefan more than once with a strong drink. There were mentions of Henrik getting drunk and, trying to coerce Stefan into drinking with him, but Stefan resisted temptation and didn't give in. Alright, next up is my rating recommended age level. I'm gonna rate this one 5 stars. It had the perfect amount of danger, action, suspense, that kind of stuff. I loved it. It had for people who love reading mysteries and thrillers like me, you'll love this one out of the entire series by far. I'm going to put the age level at 13 to 14 plus. Yeah, so I loved this so much, you have to read it. It's seriously, I think, now my favorite in the series. I'm not sure it ties with some other books, but yeah. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Bye! He focused on the food in his bowl. The frumenty contained juicy chunks of pork and was delicious. And he didn't even like frumenty.
What's frumenty?
By the way, Shona, frumenty is like porridge. Just thought you wanted to know, maybe.
Of course I wanted to know. I asked you.
As soon as he'd inhaled the last spoonful, the servants entered and whisked away his bowl, replacing it with a plate.
I could get used to that. As soon as I finish my meal, someone replaces it with a full plate! Yes!
A servant laid a slice of bread in the middle of the plate, then ladled meat and gravy on the bread. More dishes, stewed fruit and cooked vegetables swimming in sauces, all steaming hot, were brought in on large platters and set in the middle of the table.
I've never had bread, meat, or gravy before, but I sure could get used to eating big platters and quantities of it.
Take some of everything, Henrik boomed. A young man like you needs his strength. Eat up. There's plenty of food in the kitchen.
A young dog like me needs to eat a lot of food too. I need my strength. So Pristine, take me to the